tape off, tyres off, valves out, nearly finished dismantling.
Come on.
Come on, sticky stuff. Glorified gaffer tape, isn't it?
The hand's coming to see them. Like that.
So I'm back down at Saddleback today with said Cadbury's bike. Cadbury's. And what we're doing today, so last time I was down here when we were building up the drop bar hardtail, the video on that will be coming soon. Jack is, I can't say why he's not here because this video might go up before. Jack is busy at the moment in a good way, a really good way. Anyway, so we were chatting away talking about Chris King hubs, which there is tons of them here. Saddleback are the UK distributor for Saddleback is the UK distributor for Chris King. So hubs, headsets, wheels.
Yeah, wheels, bottom brackets.
Yeah. Tools,
T-shirts,
anything, water bottles, anything with Chris King written on it, basically. And we were talking about what the hubs are like to ride on, and I think they're like so legendary as a hub by the sound, the ride quality, but I've never ridden any. So we decided we're going to dismantle a set of my wheels and put a set of Chris King's hubs on them today, which Charles is doing today after dismantling everything. And yeah, quite excited. I say quite excited. I'm genuinely really excited for this one because Charles is also going to give us a bit of a lowdown on the magic art of wheel building because he's a wizard. I should have bought you a hat. It's in the back of the car. Little starry one like Mickey Mouse in Fantasia. Ooh. First step, remove the tyres. Remove the cassette. Remove the rotors.
Remove the sealant.
Remove the sealant. Remove the hub. Remove the spokes.
Yep.
And then we have a wheel.
Yeah. Pen parts.
Chris King pen parts. Wait, has it got a hole in the bottom? Oh, it's actually not got. Oh, it does have a hole in the bottom.
One of them does, one doesn't.
That one's got holes in it. Casual Chris King.
That's that one.
Oh, that is a Dr. Bobby original. He paints for Cannondale now. Chris King hub, Chris King hub, Chris King juice. Many lovely objects here. This packaging stuff.
Yeah.
If you've had a crash and you've got like plasters and stuff,
yeah.
This is the stuff to use. Really good. To get. Oh, there is actually stairs. I thought we got to go in a lift for a sec.
No, we've got to slide back down.
So this is the back end of Saddleback, which is this just nuts, huge. Oh my God, Charles is really quick upstairs. Huge warehouse of stuff, like literally. Ooh, only. Jeez.
Sweet. Yeah.
That is nuts.
Get a sticker.
Keep that sticker safe. Oh, look at that.
Sweet. Nice, get building.
How many wheels do you reckon you make a week?
We aim for, what would you say, Wayne and Jay will do 6 wheels each a day.
Wow.
So we aim for, say, some people say, it's not too many, some people go, well, it's loads, but we do everything. So in many other places, they have a lacing machine or something like that. Mm-hmm. We don't have any of that, so everything here is just all done by hand.
Just cut the spokes?
Yep, spoke cutter right there, if we don't have the correct length. Mr. Morrisini spoke cutter.
He's a nice guy.
And then we've got stock lengths against back wall fine Wayner.
Oh yeah. So roughly 6 wheels a day.
Yep.
Between 2 people.
Between 2, yeah. If we're busy, I'll chime in and do a few too. And I just run the shop.
So with Chris King, there's really good warranties, right?
Yeah. So it's Chris King's lifetime. Some bearings, so I mean they pretty much last a lifetime anyway. They're really good, but if there is a problem, it's very rare and it can't be just cleaned out and serviced, then yeah, it's replacement bearings. just all done on the house pretty much. But as long as you keep up with your regular service intervals, say roughly every year, just have a strip, re-grease and rebuild. Those could go for years and years and years.
Why do Chris King hubs sound so nice?
They're just lovely.
They're just lovely.
I'll show you in a sec. They rely on a drive and driven ring together. So instead of a conventional hub, you have, say, 3 or 4 pulls inside which click down. These are essentially almost like 2 plates coming together and being forced together to give you 100% drive, really. There's no chance of skip. The harder you pedal, the faster they contact or harder they contact, so there's no worry about them not connecting. Yeah, nice little stainless steel internals.
It's a big flange.
Yeah, large flange.
Surely there's more aero, right?
Yeah, more aero, but get good spoke angles coming out of there. We build in 2 cross and a 24 hole, but again, we can sort of tailor it to people's needs. So, it's all happening about in there.
Oh yeah. And that's just how it all engages, basically, right?
Yeah, so it's not relying on a spring for engagement, it's actually a helix on the drive shell, which when you pedal forward, forces this drive plate here, drive ring, into the driven ring. So that there's fastened, this is fastened into the hub, so it's solid. And then you've got the drive shell, push it through, you can see the helix on there, and this drive ring. When you pedal, forces this ring into the other.
And that's what makes it
and
engage.
That's what makes it engage.
It's really neat.
It's really smooth.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. This mountain bike says 72 points of engagement on that. And a rate of 45, which is way more than enough.
Yeah.
That is the washer we need. Oh, it doesn't fit through that hole.
There it is. Hey. Now, I've seen this before. Noble Wheels thingy.
Yeah.
People seem to rave about this.
Yeah, they're great. There's not really anything similar that exists out there, but the guy makes these real jigs and it saves a hell of a lot of time and fat. We're all used to building wheels by lacing them up on our laps. So when you do it day in, day out, sitting down and arcing over your lap isn't the best thing for your back. Whereas this is just, it just makes a repetitive job a lot nicer to do. Spins around.
Is this a fat bag of nipples?
It is.
The nipples got some weight to them. So, nipple is the bit that goes at the end of the spoke, right?
Yep. It's like goes through the rim into the spoke. And these are called double square, so we can, instead of building it, we don't scratch up that surface that's external. We use this internal surface, which we'll sit on.
And twist it.
Yeah. We measure something called ERD. This is the effective rim diameter of the inside.
Okay.
Gonna measure it, because then I can pop it in a spoke calculator and then measure up the hub and then get a correct length of spokes.
With lacing the wheels, would you lace a front different to a rear?
Yeah, you would, just because of the way the forces that are going through the spokes. So when you brake, we're essentially twisting the hub. So we'll put a load of tension on one load of spokes and it'll relieve a load of tension, essentially think them going baggy on the other set of spokes. So you want them to pull against each other, so it keeps a nice even tension wheel basically. So that the rim doesn't pull to one side or it keeps everything tracking nice and centrally.
Yeah. And why would someone break a spoke? Is that just down to tensioning and stuff like that generally?
Yeah, it could be. It could be that they're a bit older. So bits of metal, as you know from school days, you flex it enough, it'll break, no matter what metal it is, really. With these are Saturn CX rays, so you can flex and flex and flex and flex these, and they take the longest to break, pretty much.
Okay.
But after a few years of good use, you'll notice sometimes spokes do pop every so often. That's just because we'll need to rebuild generally. Or if it's not evenly tensioned all the way around, so if some spokes are reading completely different than others on one side, when you keep braking and accelerating, as I said about pulling and putting more tension into the spokes and relieving tension, some will be doing it a lot more than the others, and that will cause these spokes to break before the others. So nice even tension keeps the wear even on all the spokes, I suppose.
Nice.
Right, first spokes in. That logo lined up perfect with the valve hole. So normally this is 2 cross, so we're going to build it anyway. So you go to spoke hole right above the logo, and then you just count 2. So 1, 2, drop it in, pop it up.
You make it sound really simple.
Yeah, I've done this quite a lot. And then yeah, just start at the valve hole. So you've always got a reference point to come back to. Good pride in your work. And then just to thread the spokes on to begin with, and then we'll take them to the end of the threads in a bit, so they're all even.
Do you basically mat? Well, yeah, it's not the same angle, is
so
it?
this is, remember the hubby sat there.
Yeah.
This is what's called a symmetrical pattern. So if you put a mirror down there, basically it's the same either side. The rear will be asymmetric, so instead of these, well, I suppose instead of these ones on this side dropping down and across, they'll be pulling up and across.
And is that because of having the hub there, basically?
Yeah, that's just because in a rear you don't just have the brake force, you've also got a driving force from the cassette. So it's twisting the hub slightly different way than it normally would.
Good?
Yeah, lovely. Expect a little bit of bag. Get a few turns in there. Yeah, nip them up. Fling them in.
Nip them up. So you're done with this amazing tool now?
Yep.
And you go into that one?
Pop it in there, yeah. Should be cool.
Now let's see. This is obviously really important to see what it looks like. Yeah, it's gonna look bling. That looks fucking cool.
Nice soft ride.
Nice soft ride there. Lots of vibration and comfort there. It won't stop very easily either. There's nothing here. Right, you're starting to dismantle the second one. Ah, this is what you were talking about. Straight pull.
Straight pull, yeah. So these, instead of J-bend, where they've got the hook on the end of the spoke to stop them spinning around or doing anything you don't want them to. These are straight pull, so spokes literally. There you go.
Would you say a J-bend is a better spoke?
I prefer J-bend, yeah. It's a lot more reliable.
Yeah.
So this is a asymmetric pattern. So last time for the front, we're doing the other side. I was pulling up to match the other ones I put in. These ones I'm dropping down.
And that, as we've already said, is to do with like how they react under tension.
The forces going into the hub.
Why would you not do asymmetric with a front hub?
Front, you don't have any drive going into it, so you're not pedaling the front hub. Front hub, you've just got the disc, disc brake. That's all. Resist, you need to account for the drive forces going into the wheel as well. So rail one, so bring it to the end of the threads, and sling it in the stand and start.
That's so that everyone knows that it's a Chris King hub, right? Big flange.
Yep, that and the buzz.
Buzz and a flange.
Yeah, winning combo.
You lubing up your nipples.
Lubing up the nipples.
This is supposed to be a useful, informative video, but instead we're just talking about nipples and lube. Is the real reason you like building wheels because you can talk about nipples, lube and flanges?
Absolutely.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
Little wobble.
It's at 4 turns, 4.5 turn. It's got like no tension still. Just enough to hold it in place.
Do you basically just keep tensioning it until it's tight like a tiger?
Yeah.
It's got to be tight like a tiger and true.
And true and balanced, so every spoke will have exactly the same amount of tension in it on each side. So it's perfectly balanced too. And also, so it's perfectly round. So there's no, at the moment, there's a bit of an up and down, a bit of what's called a hop.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we finish, it'll be perfectly straight, perfectly round. Yeah, perfect tension.
We're going in this.
We are. It's straightish and it's roundish, and there's a little bit of tension.
Tension-ish.
Tension-ish.
Yeah.
So now normally, you get on the floor, give it a good squeeze, but we like to look after our bodies, and instead we've got this wonderful machine. And we'll give it a constant squeeze all the way around. So let's drop the pressure.
Is this how much pressure it then puts down on the wheel?
Yeah, so we're around about 40 psi, which equates to 87 kilograms of force. So that's like a 87 kilo person standing on this. Essentially pushes the hub down, settles all the spokes and nipples into their beds, and starts bedding stuff in really. It will flex quite a lot, as you will see. Yeah. It's nice and consistent all the way around the rim. Yeah, because you will see these top spokes are good baggy, and these ones will be tighter. I mean, it's not crazy tension, so yeah, see?
Yeah.
It's really tension in. Yep.
Now, would you use different PSI for different wheels?
Yeah, so these are roads sort of mid-depth, so we tend to run these, it's about 50 psi is quite a good one, so 110 kilogram of force. More because they're road wheels, and that's quite a nice pressure. You still get a bit of movement even when they're fully built. With the big downhill wheels, like the guys they're using on a downhill circuit, you can pop this thing all the way up to 70, 80 psi, because you think they're jumping these bikes high and hard, and they can handle that. And it's crazy, you'd have it on this 150, 170 kilogram force, and the wheel, the hub will barely move in that rim. It's absolutely solid.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really impressive. And there's no chance that I will be able to get that on the floor and push that amount of force on it.
Well, you need like 2 or 3 of you to do that, right?
Yeah, back in the day, just to see if we get anything moving, there'd be 2 of us standing on the rim with the hub on the floor. And it'll be solid, absolutely solid.
Yeah.
Whereas here, you still get movement.
What is this?
So, the wheel is a conveyor round, which is good.
Yeah.
And very true, that's also good. But I want all these spokes to be exactly the same tension. To measure that, you've got a tension meter going through it. That's it's not a reading, it's just a figure. So I know that ultimately I want this to be about 1.5 at the moment. That one's 0.7. The goal at the moment is just get them all even. That's 1.2. That's 0.4.
So they're quite...
See the pattern?
Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't one. So the aim now is to find a happy medium. So I reckon everything to be about 0.8, 0.9. Yeah, and then you always do things in groups. So that one's really low, so the next one will be quite high. So you undo that one, whatever you undo that one, you do into that one. So if I take out half a turn of that one, I'll put half a turn into that one. At the moment, because there's not much tension on it, you can do bigger movements to even stuff off.
I said it's wizardry. This is where the wizardry part happens, right?
Yeah.
This is the bit where you obviously have to be very patient and calm and relaxed and chill.
Yeah.
And that is you. In contrast, I would be going, why the fuck, why is it not working? But it is working, but why is it not working? I can imagine it's quite therapeutic in a weird way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. Got Fleetwood Mac on in the background. A bit more tension there. Profile 2. Definitely. Make sure it's all correct pressure. Okay. I've watched now the first ones to set the pressure, so we should be looking here about 45, should be around about 100 kilogram of force. Ooh. And then when it sets, we'll see. Yeah. Pretty good.
Well, this is not the norm to have one of these machines, right? As you said previously, it's normally a guy standing there shaking a wheel.
There's only 2 or 3 of these in the UK. You know, we've got one, the guys with Strada wheels.
Yep.
They use one too, that saves our knees and backs a lot. And it's a lot more consistent. Instead of just pushing in 2 areas at one time, this is across the whole wheel.
Surely that means it's going to have a more accurate...
Yeah, more consistent across the board, really.
New tool?
Yeah, we've got good old Abbey tools, dish stick. So making sure the hub is sat bang in the middle of the rim, or in the middle of the hub. So, flop on top, get that plunger down, flip it over, hopefully, it's the same, which, to be honest, is
that's pretty damn good, right?
Yeah.
Millimetre in that?
Tiniest bit, which is good, because we still need a little more tension in it. So it should naturally put itself over to that side.
Yeah.
But like at the moment, both sides are perfectly balanced. So this side's showing on here under 1.3 on almost every spoke. We want this to ideally say 1.5 in here. So these are the figures you see on the gauge there. We want it to be reserve recommend between 110 to 130 kilogram of force, so we're going to go smack in the middle, 120. So this Sappin CX we're using, so you want 1.52 is the average we want there on the high tension side, which is the drive side. Put a little bit more tension in it, and then should be good. Should be golden. Perfectly true. Yeah.
Completed it.
Yeah, done. Completed it, mate.
That's how you build a wheel.
Yep. So it's all up to tension, all balanced, and spinning great.
This is Wayne. Wayne is another, I'm going to call you a master wheel builder, because it sounds good, right? So basically Wayne's just finalising the front wheel. The rear wheel's over there. Look at these. What year is that?
That bike is 30 years old, that bike there.
Old look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
KT196, one of the first monocoque, carbon monocoques ever built.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I raced that. That's last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
But then it's not much slower.
4 seconds on the same course.
That's a different bike?
Yeah.
How many TT bikes have you got?
I won the national age group national champion. That's the race there.
God, that looks great, that.
Clean up your rim.
How long have your bearings last on your ceramic ones?
So a pair of ceramic bearings in my road bike, and they're currently on a 10th year.
Rim tape.
Going in.
This is a hack, using a cloth to help you thumb.
Yeah, it's easy little thumb.
So with rim tape, how many times would you go around?
Well, most manufacturers just say 1, because that's enough to seal, but when you're getting tyre levers and everything in there, the chance of snagging it quite high. So I like to just go around twice. You don't really lose anything, it might be an extra gram or 2.
Fine.
But you just get that extra security.
Yeah. And the key is to make sure it's in smooth, right?
Yeah, you don't want any air bubbles. Or you don't want it all over the place either. You just want a nice even strip. Go up the sides, tiny bit each side. So, it's lovely.
Is this just pushing the tape into the rim?
Yeah, it's just getting it right into the corner. So when you pop a tyre on, it won't flop up or anything. Yeah.
Valves are in, rotors back on. It's a little bit dirty, aren't they? This is an important one. Do you line your...
Yeah, I line a Shimano.
I'm the same. It's got to be aligned, otherwise it just doesn't look quite right.
Yeah.
Colours there. That goes, look, it's the Joker. Oh yeah. About that much sealant.
Cup.
Yeah, a cup worth, that'll do. Tyres are half on, you can drop the sealant in.
Yep.
And then we're...
feed over, and then you go on a windpipe. Stick them in the bike, make sure the gears and brakes still work, then pull some wheelies. I would, but I can't wheelie, so I'll leave that to you.
Can't wheelie.
Oh no!
I can wheelie on a... So I can do it on a mountain bike, but on a road bike it's really hard.
Yeah.
And I just can't do it, so... We'll find someone who's better at bicycles than both of us, right? When I'm a big strong boy, I'll be able to wheelie. Maybe. Probably not.
You're on. Sony PSI?
Saddleback to the 90s.
There you go.
I was an 80s kid.
That's a lot.
by 2 weeks. That's a nice flange.
As flanges go, that's a solid flange.
I was waiting. You braked.
Just put it up in a bit. It's a really good bearing for
That's why Chris King are good. Are you not allowed out of the boundary?
No. This is it. Oh, I should be standing here for that mark. Please, was nice seeing you.
Thank you so much.
Anytime.
He makes really good bike stuff. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. You impressed?
This is beautiful. Yeah, this is pretty special.
It is, right?
It was a pretty good looking bike.
We made it better.
This is stunning.
Yeah. Yes. It's cool.
Slats at the concrete.
God damn it.